Hey everyone, and welcome back. If you grew up watching The Lion King, you probably think of hyenas as Scar's cackling, slightly goofy sidekicks. But what if I told you that a real-life hyena once existed that would have made not just Simba, but the whole pride run for the hills? Today, we're talking about an absolute monster, a prehistoric beast with a name that says it all. Dinocrocuta, the terrible hyena. When its giant bones were first discovered in the early 1900s, scientists knew they had something special. It was clearly a member of the filiform suborder, the group that includes cats and hyenas, and it looked a lot like a hyena on steroids. They named it Dinocrocuta and crowned it the king of hyenas. But then, things got complicated. Paleontologists took a closer look at its teeth and said, wait a minute, these are a bit weird. They decided it wasn't a true hyena, after all, and moved it into its own separate family. For decades, Dinocrocuta lost its title. But believe it or not, a very recent study using high-tech imaging proved the original scientists were right all along. The king is back on the throne, and he is bigger and badder than we ever imagined. So, how big are we talking? Forget the hyenas you see in documentaries. The largest species, Dinocrocuta gigantea, was a beast. Whew. On average, it weighed between 440 and 551 pounds. That's like 3 or 4 modern spotted hyenas fused into one terrifying package. At its max weight, it was bigger than your average male lion. Some amateur estimates even suggest it could have gotten up to 840 pounds, making it more comparable to a massive Siberian tiger. This thing was an absolute unit, and it wasn't just big, it was built for pure power. While it didn't have a cat's sharp, retractable claws, its skeleton was abnormally thick and sturdy, with massive attachment points for muscles. This tells us it was a hyper-muscular creature, strong enough to pin down animals even larger than itself. But here's the twist. It was also built for stamina, with adaptations for long-distance running, just like modern hyenas that can chase prey for miles. It was the ultimate combination of a heavyweight brawler and a marathon runner. But the most terrifying thing about Dinocrocuta was its head. Its skull was freakishly huge, making up over 20% of its total body length. To put that in perspective, if our heads were that big, we'd all look like Megamind. But this giant head wasn't for a bigger brain, it was for one thing, an absolutely devastating bite. Modern hyenas can already crack bone, but Dinocrocuta took it to a whole new level. Its jaws were powered by giant muscles, and its teeth were gargantuan, with super thick enamel designed to crush the bones of the largest animals around, including elephants and rhinos. And we know it used this power in the most brutal way possible. Fossil evidence gives us a chilling look into its hunting strategy. Scientists found the skull of a prehistoric rhino that had been attacked by a Dinocrocuta. The rhino's head was covered in puncture wounds that perfectly matched the hyena's teeth. Instead of going for the neck or stomach like a normal predator, Dinocrocuta aimed straight for the head, using overwhelming force to essentially pop its victims' skulls. Incredibly, this particular rhino survived the attack as its wounds had healed, which proves two things. One, that Dinocrocuta was an active predator, not just a scavenger, and two, that it was bold enough to hunt animals many times its size. Living in a world filled with saber-toothed cats and other massive predators, Dinocrocuta didn't just survive, it thrived. It was so effective that it likely engaged in kleptoparasitism, a fancy term for bullying other predators and stealing their hard-earned meals. A single Dinocrocuta was intimidating enough, but here's the scariest thought of all. It might not have hunted alone. Like its modern relatives, it may have lived and hunted in packs. We don't have direct proof, but in the fossil record, Dinocrocuta is often the most abundant large predator in its environment, dominating even powerful saber-toothed cats. This beast ruled vast territories across Africa and Eurasia for millions of years, even coexisting with early members of our own subfamily, the hominines. For our ancient ancestors, an encounter with one of these would have been a nightmare. So Dinocrocuta was a hypermuscular, bone-pulverizing giant that reigned as the undisputed king of its world. But even kings fall. And around 7 million years ago, this terrifying creature vanished from the fossil record. Its prey was still abundant, and its competitors weren't yet dominant. So its mysterious disappearance remains a puzzle we're still trying to solve. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this trip back in time to meet the true king of hyenas, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you won't miss our next adventure. See ya!